Up Today, fake cures exposed. All over the country, people are trying this. Looks pretty benign like that, right? It's a so-called miracle solution the FDA says is the same as drinking bleach. Bleach. Some people think that by drinking this, they can, I'm going to quote them, cure HIV, hepatitis, and cancer. If only. And even more shockingly, some are giving it to their children in hopes of treating autism. That's right. Imagine this. Children drinking bleach, given to them by their parents. Thinking about them and the helplessness of their desperate parents, I knew I had to launch an investigation squad right away.
Lurking in the shadows of the internet, false hopes are being peddled in the form of a shocking and dangerous autism treatment.
A wonderful thing about this protocol is that it has shown itself to be effective for basically every illness, including autism.
The so-called protocol includes MMS, Miracle Mineral Solution. The active ingredient, chlorine dioxide, essentially bleach. Purveyors of this toxic solution claim that autism is avoidable, treatable, and curable, and they're telling parents to give their children chlorine dioxide orally, through enemas, and in their baths. The FDA has issued explicit warnings, but astonishingly, some families continue to administer chlorine dioxide to their autistic children.
If I can do this, I know other parents can.
Online, you can find parent testimonials, how-to videos, chat groups, and links where you can order chlorine dioxide.
Desperate parents are poisoning their children with bleach. They want to desperately help their children, and when there's not a lot of information at the doctor's offices, they turn to the internet.
Melissa and Amanda, both autistic children, were shocked when they discovered this secretive world. They decided to go undercover and infiltrate.
Melissa and I saw that these children were being abused, so we created fake profiles, infiltrated these groups.
What the undercover moms found shook them to the core.
There's a lot of stories of it's taken 3 or 4 of us to hold the child down. My child will not cooperate with enemas. My child is throwing up. My child is gnawing at their skin. Their stomach is hurting. They're crying. They're vomiting. Parents will post about the side effects, like shedding bowel lining, for example. They believe that this is parasites coming out of their children's bodies, but what they're actually displaying is the bloody insides of their children's intestines, a direct result of ingesting industrial bleach and having industrial bleach inserted into their colon through an enema.
Melissa and Amanda worked to determine the identity and location of the children and report the abuse to Child Protective Services.
We have reported over 100 cases since 2016.
Social media companies are cracking down, removing health misinformation, but it's still not hard to find people praising and selling chlorine dioxide. I decided to place an order for Miracle Mineral Solution. When it arrived, I immediately turned it over to our med team. You'll be shocked when you see what this chemical can do.
Our investigation squad is here. Mars Camacampo and Amanda, one of the undercover moms who pulled back the curtain on this hidden world of parents using this fake autism cure. It is people like Amanda who use the power of one to make a difference, and I applaud you for it. What gave you the courage to take on this industry? There's a lot of people who don't like you because you did this.
That's true. I am a parent of 3 autistic children, and when my son got diagnosed, there was no information, so I went online. And what I saw for a treatment shocked me. I knew chlorine is a type of bleach. Chlorine dioxide is very dangerous. And no one else was helping these children, so I knew I had to.
Well, thank you for doing it. You represent so many moms out there, but people in general who can make a big difference by stepping up. And what better way to do it than to protect your own children? There is no cure right now for autism. I wish there was. And I understand the deep desire of parents who want to try to help their kids. But this is a dangerous, and quite frankly, it makes me really angry that it's even out there. So, Mara, you went through the process. You ordered this product like this, and it's so-called a miracle solution. So what was it that that happened when you got it? Was it hard to find? What happened when you evaluated?
These things are remarkably easy to find and order and receive. There are very few, if any, restrictions on this. And what we found when we looked into it is that the main ingredient, chlorine dioxide, as you've mentioned, is a bleaching agent. Now, the protocol says that you're supposed to mix it with water, but it doesn't really specify how much water. Because you have to keep in mind, people are not getting this from a doctor. It's not a prescription. These are essentially strangers consulting one another on the internet. And that can result in ingesting an extremely harsh substance in very dangerous ways. So we wanted to make sure that what we ordered was, in fact, chlorine dioxide. So we ordered test strips as well. These are measuring the levels of chlorine dioxide in the solution that we ordered. You can see how dark they are. The darkest ones indicate the highest end of the chart, which shows you just how concentrated the solution is.
We've talked about how to bring this alive for the audience. So let's show everybody what an undiluted bleach can do. This is an experiment you may have done when you were a kid. People did it on purpose. They still do probably, but I'm going to show you the ultimate example. A pair of jeans, kids' jeans, right? Now imagine these jeans are the insides of your body, the lining of your intestines. And I'll come back to why that's important to imagine in a second. So when I take bleach, which came out of one of these bottles, undiluted, right? And I drop it on here, you notice what happens. Within seconds, you start to see something change in these pants. If a couple drops of bleach can erode through the color palette of this set of jeans and ultimately through the fabric itself, imagine what could happen inside of your intestines. Now, this is just in a few seconds. 15 minutes ago, I went ahead and did it to these jeans. Wow. You see how they're all bleached out? Okay? And we use that phrase, right? We bleached it out. 15 minutes is what it does. Now, if it could do this to jeans, what would it do to the insides of your bodies? This is going to be dramatic, but I'm going to go ahead and imagine these various formulas, and parents are getting it, and they're putting it into their kids. It's a dangerous chemistry experiment. Drinking this kind of solution can do lots of damage to the inside of your digestive system. It can damage your liver. It can do all kinds of things which you've read about, Amanda, and I want you all to understand. Now, we just uncovered in our investigation some of the parents and their desire to portray what are called trophies, trophy photos. Now, these are some examples, all right? Here's a trophy photo, and this is thought by some to be a parasitic worm, all right? Now, it could be a worm if you looked at the photo from afar, but if you look at it with a little knowledge of worms and a knowledge of what the intestines look like, you realize this is probably the sloughed off, killed, murdered part of the inside of a child's intestinal tract, right? Now, this was done after an enema, as written here. Again, I'm assuming that what they wrote is accurate. These are photos he pulled off the internet. So this mom posted an enema specimen. This mom posted a specimen of the bowel movement of a child after taking it orally, right? Drop orally. And then this is a parent who gathered all these specimens from her child, right? That's a lot of intestinal material that's sloughed off. It might be combined with fecal material. Who knows? But I don't believe these are worms. People who know about this stuff don't believe that they're worms. So again, I respect the desire of the parents to do good, but I don't think it's the right way to do it. So let me go back to Amanda. You said that parents actually look at these images of their children's intestinal tract and fecal material, and they believe it's a good sign. A good sign. How does that make you feel?
Very angry. I'm a veterinary technologist, so I know parasites. They say it's a ropeworm. They need to be logical and look into science and to know exactly how to help their children and not go to strangers on the internet to harm them.
Well, what are the side effects, as you've looked into these, of kids getting bleach in their diet?
Yeah, the side effects, the list is heartbreakingly long. It includes vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, and even potentially death. And what's most devastating, as you noted, is that in many cases, the parents interpret these side effects as signs that the medicine, that the protocol is actually working, like with these parasites or worms. They say, look, there's proof that this is effective, when in fact, that is evidence of toxic distress. There have been over 16,000 cases and reports of poisoning from chlorine dioxide over the last 5 years. There have been deaths. This is very serious stuff.
There was one gentleman's story I read, it was heartbreaking. His wife was told that it would help her with malaria prevention. So she took this bleach material, and it ended up killing her. By the way, it doesn't cure malaria or probably prevent it either. So the FDA issued a warning.
Yes.
They're taking this seriously about how dangerous this bleach is. It came after your expose, which I applaud you for. How are these rulings protecting kids who might be at risk, who are being forced to take bleach?
After a group of us, we pushed the FDA in pushing this warning because at least 30 of us were calling the FDA every single day. And there was a conference by the people who put this out, and no enforcement action was taken. So they had 24 more people certified to bleach their kids.
Makes you mad?
I'm very, very angry.
Again, the information passes through a system that doctors don't see. It sort of sneaks out there. It's hard to stop it, and we need action. We need people to be more aggressively taking this on, and it's going to happen because of us. I'll say this loud and clear. I don't think it's right for us to wait for the government to figure this out. First of all, they might not be able to, but also, why wait when you actually have proven you have the power? One person getting other people together, and you made it happen. So we reached out to the FDA. We wanted to know what they had to say, and they actually said all the right things. They said the FDA will continue to track those selling this dangerous product and take appropriate enforcement actions against those who attempt to evade FDA regulations and market unapproved and potentially dangerous products to the American public. And the agency will send a strong and clear message that these products have the potential to cause serious harm. They can do that. But when people are reading the FDA memos and they're just talking to each other online, the best way to stop it is when someone like you and it gets in there and makes a difference. Up next, the big question. How did this fake cure even start? You ever wonder that? Why would you even think of taking bleach and beginning to believe it might work for you? We actually infiltrate the groups spreading this bad information.
A house that holds secrets.
There's so much blood.
Secrets of murder.
Woman wailing.
We heard actually moans and groans.
There's a lot of activity in the room.
All New Oz.
That's coming up on. We're back investigating fake autism cures. How does this dangerous advice even start? Our investigation squad of undercover moms infiltrated the secret groups spreading this information. And what they found will shock you.
Online, we comb through this shadowy world of MMS promotion and sales.
Well, I've treated hundreds of cancers.
Most of the people involved don't appear to be doctors or even medically trained. Still, they are making extraordinary claims.
Cures the diseases not in years or decades, but in hours, days, weeks.
Even though this fake cure has been shut down from most popular social media, the fraud continues. We decided to go undercover to see what would happen when we joined an MMS chat group. I posed as a mom whose husband was wary of giving our son MMS. The conversation went like this. I'm excited to start the protocol with my 4-year-old, but I'm getting pushback from hubby. Suggestions for how I might convince him? Have him watch all of my videos. I have more recoveries than anyone else treating autism today, 560 plus. Honestly, he's concerned when he reads news stories about CD being dangerous to consume. Oh well, maybe he believes CNN and the rest of the fake news media.
Mara and Amanda from our investigation squad are here, along with Alicia Halliday from the Autism Science Foundation. Alicia, I read these shocking comments that are being made on these chat groups that Mara infiltrated, and I don't understand how these people would spread this false information. Who are they?
They are, unfortunately, this is a community that has a long history of being exposed to anything that's just misleading, to things that are dangerous, and the false hope that their child's autism will be reversed or cured or, permanently erased. There are true believers out there. There are people that actually believe, these are working and that they're doing a good deed by helping people. And there are also these scammers out there that are just out to make money or feel respected by other people.
You know, I spent my whole career looking at alternative treatments and finding quite a few that are effective. But they're using treatments that, to me, were based on diet changes or getting them into nature in different ways and psychotherapy. Things that actually I could imagine could work, might not, but they probably wouldn't hurt the child. This is very different.
This is very different. And what we're seeing here is an incredibly dangerous treatment that is potentially deadly.
Mara, when you infiltrated the group, and thanks for doing that, you were able to uncover some unspoken rules. What do they say to critics? How do they suppress commentary that might actually bring out the truth?
Yeah, they do not tolerate any criticism of their treatment. In fact, that people who are critical of the treatment are often forced to leave the group. You are instantly called an idiot, a troll, a liar, accused of working for big pharmaceutical companies, and told that you simply don't want people to have access to this miracle medicine. And we saw it in the response to the chat group that we entered. The woman said, well, maybe you should just believe the fake news media, instead of actually addressing people's concerns.
Amanda, you say you've been attacked. You know, people have tried to come after you for speaking out. What was that like?
They've put me all over websites, emails. One even showed up at my house. I will keep on doing what I'm doing. I know my family is protected until it stops.
Again, you represent what I'm so proud of, the power that we each have. You've acted on it. Up next, can you be duped by fake medical info and not even know it? Our investigation team reveals the biggest online traps hiding right in plain sight. We've been exposing fake cures. Now, parents are giving their kids bleach to flush out the toxins they believe are causing autism. Fake online cures exist for everything you can imagine, not just autism. They're there for cancer and weight loss and a bunch of other things. Are you being duped by fake medical info online and not even know it? Mars Campo from our investigation squad reveals the biggest traps you need to watch out for online. The first one, without question, fake diet pills and teas. There are some desperate people who want desperate quick fixes.
Yeah, there's so much out there.
So what did you find when you looked online?
Well, for starters, it's a waste of money. I always say the only thing that's going to get thinner is your wallet, because these things do not work. If only weight loss were so simple. But on a much more serious note, these can actually be bad for your health. They can lead to side effects. And something that you see over and over again that is very scary are these fake celebrity testimonials, where the celebrity has no idea that their photo and name is being used to promote these products, but it lures people into a false sense of safety.
As you know, I've been a poster child for this, being used for almost anything you might sell, for skin cream, weight loss, whatever. I just had a paper accepted in a medical journal, peer-reviewed journal, written for doctors and other health professionals. And the reason I wrote it was doctors themselves have no idea how massive this industry is. It's powerful because they know celebrities can sell products. Yeah. But if you take someone's name and likeness and then you add a lie to their claim, that's really alluring.
Yeah.
Because you're making some magnificent claim that's not true with a person that you all trust who would never do this normally, and boom, you have money in your pocket. Of course, the seller, not the buyer. And the purpose of these kinds of articles now is to get doctors to start talking to you, but you can play a role. Again, the whole season is about the power of you. When you go to a doctor's office and you see one of these fake products, bring it to them and say, Doc, are you telling the other patients who have my illness that there are these fake products out there? Yeah. Be part of the solution. Okay, some of these online ads for fake diet pills use too good to be true photos. And you know what? They look beautiful, right? Before and after. How many of you have seen that, a before and after photo? Right? I mean, I don't think you can sell a weight loss product without these. Yeah. The question is, are they real? Well, sometimes they are, but often they're not. Social media is littered with these things. Show us an example of what we're talking about here.
Yeah, so we found this iStock photo all over the internet. This same woman who was being used to promote diets, we have no idea if she has actually ever even tried any of the diets that she's being used to promote. Now, this woman, I think she looks perfect. She would be classified as a plus-size model. There's a reason that they use
This is the real her.
This is the real her. It's easier to make someone smaller than to make them bigger. So they start with a plus-size model and then shrink them down.
So how do you know that she didn't go on a diet and start to look like this? Where's the evidence?
So one telltale sign is when a photo looks too perfect. You can see she has beautiful facial dimples here, but they have been completely erased on her face. The other thing that's gone, Her collarbone.
What happened to her collarbone?
Completely disappeared and wiped away. That's not natural.
So they took the fat away and threw the collarbones in.
Exactly. They threw it with the fat. And this is a big telltale sign. Her arm is completely uniform from her elbow to her shoulder. Nobody's arm looks like that. The other thing that's a big telltale sign is her pose is exactly the same, down to her head tilt. There's always some natural variation when we take pictures. This one has clearly been altered.
You all on top of this now? Now, it's not difficult, now that you've brought it to our attention, to figure out that that's what this beautiful woman's supposed to look like. This is a fake version of her. Yeah. I bet she's not even involved in any of these products.
Right.
How many could you possibly try anyway? Okay, next trap are these online forums or threads. Right? Now, we saw these contributed to the autism cures that were being circulated, but false information is also being spread about other conditions, cancer, Alzheimer's, lots of conditions. So you spend some time on these forums, you become an expert at them. Give us an example of some of the questionable advice being given.
Yeah, a big one that we see a lot is black salve. This has been floating around for decades as a miracle cure for cancer. What it is it's a paste that you would rub topically on your skin, and it's supposed to either draw out the cancer or burn it out. But what's happening is that this can lead to infections, scarring, all kinds of disfigurations on your skin. And the bigger concern is that people will forego their cancer treatment in favor of the black salve, and then their cancer continues to get worse.
So how does the average viewer know if the advice on a forum's thread is true or not, if it's medically appropriate?
Yeah, it can be very difficult to police these forums because, for one thing, a lot of these groups are private, so you have to be allowed in. A lot of the users are anonymous, so you don't even know who's behind these comments. They may or may not have a moderator. Now, big tech companies do want to crack down, but here's where they need our help, all of our help. If you see something that looks like dangerous information, you have to report it because that's what's going to help the companies crack down.
If you see something, say something. Right, as a journalist, you're taught to question everything, and you've done that beautifully. Share the overarching guiding principles for how you can tell if you're getting a real solution or if it's just hype and a false promise.
Yeah, the first thing that you want to do is you really want to be skeptical about miracle cures. So anything that seems like it's too good to be true, you want to question that. If there was a miracle cure for cancer, we would all have heard of it.
And be using it.
It wouldn't be a secret. You really want to ignore testimony without science behind it. Personal testimonials and stories are very important. They are powerful, they are compelling, but they are not a substitute for scientific evidence. And the third thing is trust your gut. If there's something that doesn't seem right, do the research. It has never been easier to find reliable information if you're looking for it.
All right, so I want all of you at home to stop, snap, and share these 3 ways to spot fake medical info. Get your phone out, get the picture of this thing, and then share this with everybody so they don't fall into any of these online traps that can steal your money and, more importantly, your health. Up next, how you can be part of our investigation squad. That's right, what you can do to stop down fake cures from hurting people that you care for and love. We've been exposing the truth about a fake cure that is pushing the idea that bleach can treat autism. And thanks to undercover moms, people are learning all about it. Now it's your turn to be part of my investigation squad. Tricked, scammed, or duped online? Being sold fake claims and bogus cures? We are enlisting a team of top-notch investigators and undercover moms, just like you, to expose the truth. That's right, you have the power to make change. If you think you smell a scam, let us know, and our investigation squad will get on the case. I love the undercover squad. So Amanda, one of my undercover moms, is here. She exposed the fake autism cure we've been investigating, along, of course, with our good friend reporter, Mars Cavalcampo. You never thought that you'd be on the front lines, saving lives, exposing some of these fraudulent cures. What does the power of one mean to you now?
Anybody can make a difference. Anybody can make a stand. If you see something that's not right, stand up for it. You don't know who you can save.
Kudos to you. Thanks for being courageous. Mara, why is it especially important right now for the investigation squad, for people all over the country to stand up and be counted?
We all have the tools.